game from the TV.
Should I try again?
Yes. Repeat first down. Thanks.
Being the appointed hour, I hereby call to order this regularly scheduled meeting of the New Bern Historic Preservation Commission. Matt, would you please take the roll?
Certainly. Jim Morrison.
Here.
Gregory Rush.
Here.
Richard Parsons.
Here.
Trip York.
Here.
Molly Bales.
Here.
Mark Bartner.
Here.
Tim Thompson.
Here.
And Jim Bisbee and Candace Sullivan are excused.
Yeah, and so I believe we have a quorum. The next item on our agenda has to do with the consent agenda. And commissioners, there are some minutes in there, I think, for September, October, and November, as well as a written decision from our last meeting. Does anybody have a need to pull anything from the consent agenda? And if not, can I have a motion to accept that, please?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very good. Hearings.
You have your introduction you have to do.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I also see where I skipped adjustments to the agenda. This is really maybe more of an old business item, but some of you have been tracking 506 Craven Street, which has come close to its 180-day expiration, upon which the commission would have to take action. That application has been withdrawn, and I understand it'll be coming back to design review perhaps as early as next month, but we'll wait to see. So, okay, back to the hearings. The Historic Preservation Commission is a public commission appointed by the City of New Bern's Board of Aldermen. It is responsible for preserving and safeguarding New Bern's locally designated historic districts, downtown and Riverside. Those are governed by the U.S. Department of Interior standards, state statutes, city ordinances, and of course New Bern's historic standards. Two of the major tasks of the HPC include approving applications for a certificate of appropriateness and preventing demolition of historic structures due to neglect. The HPC holds a quasi-judicial hearing on an application for a certificate of appropriateness. The commission hears sworn testimony and evidence provided by the applicant, provided by parties who received notice of the hearing, and by others who can justify that they have relevant evidence and are directly affected by the application. The commission cannot consider comments based on personal likes or dislikes, hearsay, or personal opinion that cannot be directly related to the specific historic guidelines. Likewise, commissioners shall refrain from stating personal opinion, personal likes or dislikes, or hearsay during a hearing. The commission's decision on an application is based solely on the testimony and evidence presented at the hearing that directly relates to the historic standards. At this point, anyone here tonight in our audience who would like to speak, we ask that you be sworn in. And so we know we've got an applicant.
Yes.
And there may be others.
So if any of you would like to speak this evening, particularly related to 510 Craven Street, we need you to come forward and we will swear you in. And then you can put your name on this sworn-in sheet up front. At least one person will have to speak to it, yes. So, and will you also be?
No.
Anyone else? Okay. And you'll need to swear me in too.
Okay. Well, very good. Do we raise a hand?
Yes.
Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your
Of your knowledge?
I do.
I do.
Okay, thanks for helping me fumble through that. Was not expecting.
No, sorry. That's brand new, but he has to do it, so.
I have to do it again.
No, he just did it.
Oh, okay, that's another.
Yeah.
All right.
I should have stuck with my pre-law degree.
And if someone changes their mind later and they would like to speak, you can come forward and ask to be sworn in before you speak. All right.
All right, so here's a summary of how we will generally conduct a hearing on a COA application. The HPC administrator will provide an application overview. The applicant will have a chance to also comment on the application. We'll have an opportunity for proponents and opponents who receive notice to speak. We'll have a rebuttal, and ultimately the HPC administrator may have some staff findings and recommendations. Then we'll have one final chance for the applicant to participate, make comments on their application, and then commissioners will pick it up from there and ask questions of the applicant and weigh the evidence at hand. Ultimately, the chair will call for a motion to approve or deny the application with stated findings of fact, and then hopefully we'll have a motion and a vote. So a COA can be approved with conditions, or denied. All right. So with that said, I think we're ready for our one and only hearing tonight, 510 Craven Street.
Okay, and if anyone's interested, there are extra copies of the agenda up front on the front pew over there. Oh, so these are all the minutes, sorry. In the previous meetings, here we go. Okay. This is the front page of the application. This is for 510 Craven Street at the Meta-Biddle Whitford Rental House. The owners are Tom and Glenda Decker, and the applicant was Lucian Vaughn. The owners are present. Mr. Vaughn is not. But we can see they've filled out the application. Mr. Vaughn has signed the application, and the certificate of appropriateness owner's authorization form has been signed and notarized for Mr. Vaughn to represent them, even though he's not here tonight. He did represent them also at the design review meeting. So this starts off with aerial photography of the site. First one was provided by the applicants. You can see here the property has a slight dog leg to it, and so it's not quite the normal rectangular situation, which leads to why the design is the way it is. Then staff has added an aerial showing a little bit more context around there, showing the various other homes in the area, and so that you can refer to that if you want to. This is the survey that's been provided. Again, you can see that dog leg shape for the parcel. Here we see a dimension up here in the upper left-hand corner of 1.3 feet away from the property line on the north side, and then 11.6 feet for the house and 13.2 feet for the rear corner. Let's see. And then 35 feet all the way from the other corner to the rear property line. So this is the front of the house. And the historic marker plaque. And the left front corner of the house with the neighbor's driveway beforehand. Because remember, it was 1.3 feet away from the property line there. This is the similar angle, but with a little bit more frontal view. This is the 1.3 feet we're talking about here. And we'll see here in a second fencing across the 1.3 feet at the corner of the house where the other fencing meets. Then this is the right-hand side or the south side of the house. And now the owner's driveway is behind these bushes, the neighbor's bushes here. And you can see the design of this house, of the house on this side. Then looking from the street down the driveway. And then at the end of the driveway, there is a small gate and short fence. Part of the proposal is to move that fence back to the corner, to the back corner of the house that you see there. This is that fence there. And the corner is right off the left edge here, not the one all the way at the back. And that's looking back towards that gate. This is the corner we're talking about, the original house, the historic house, historic portion of the house. There you go again. So now this is the rear elevation of the house. And this one-story portion is an addition that was done, I believe, by Mr. Vaughn about a decade ago. And there's another view of it there. So the addition will be attaching to and modifying this addition. The new addition will be attaching to and modifying this existing addition. Another closer up shot of that corner, and even closer. If we do another closer shot, we'll be kissing the brick, I think. So instead, looking to the right, you can see how the existing addition attaches to the original two-story home. And this window here will be embedded inside the new addition. The new addition will be attaching pretty much to on the right side of this window. These two mechanical units will move elsewhere, and this area here will become a bathroom. So let's see. Those two. There's a crawl space vent, and this is one of the other windows, either that same window or one of the other windows that will be modified. And here's a detail of the corner of the house, the original historic portion of the house. And then there is a large tree in the far southeast corner of the property. So they've provided the full description of the work for the bedroom bathroom addition, kitchen addition, covered stoop and steps, and a listing of all the guidelines that are appropriate, in their opinion, to this project. And then a list of materials for exterior windows. They're wood double hung. For exterior door, they're wood French. The siding is wood clapboard siding to match the existing. The bands, corner boards, fascia, soffit, frieze, casing, strip, cap molding are all wood to match existing. The side stoop will be framing, the framing, landing, railing, posts, underpinning will all be pressure treated wood. And the underpinning or the screen underneath it be wood lattice, pressure treated wood lattice. Then on the addition itself, there will be metal roofing. I'm sorry, that's on the, this is just for the side stoop, will be metal roofing. Okay, so to the drawings. This is essentially the site plan for the new, showing the new addition in cross-hatched in blue. And I guess you could see it has two legs that wrap around the two sides of the existing addition, and then a rectangular portion that extends out into the rear yard. We'll see a floor plan and all this in a minute. And then there's a new stoop, because the old stoop was on the back side of the existing addition. That will be removed and moved and replaced down to the southern side of the house. So that's a new stoop on the bottom. Additional new things are the number 9 water heater gets moved to the new outside wall. The 2 mechanical units get a 3rd mechanical unit to join them, and all 3 are on the back side, or the, let's say, northeast side of the new addition. Then we also see here the gate and fence I mentioned earlier is here on the left, about halfway across the historic house, and is to be relocated to the rear corner of the historic house. Let's see what else. That pretty much takes care of that. The driveway is also then extended back to provide a second parking space. All right. Here's a elevation detail of that stoop from the south, and I'm going to make this a lot smaller. Sorry. So we see the actual plan over here on the left. This happens to be the footing plan or the foundation plan. And then on the right is also a wall section for the construction. All the way down through the footing. All right, next page shows the floor plan on the left. I'm going to move this up some more. There we go. The orientation on this plan is different than the other plan was, but so now we have the 2 legs that wrap around the existing addition are shown here, and then the large rectangular area extending into the backyard is here on the upper left. You can see the 3 mechanical units there. So that's a master bedroom, and then we have the bathroom, which is the left or northern leg, and an extension of the kitchen with a breakfast room is the other leg on the back of the existing addition. And then in the middle is some computer room and some access ways, hallways. So in addition to all of the things that have been mentioned before, this plan also shows that there's a proposed concrete pad for a wheelchair lift right off the right side or the eastern side of the stoop. And so the railing is gone on that end, or at least not shown on that end, to allow for the lift to access the stoop from there. You see the details here for the mechanical units, and then this on the right is essentially the second floor, and just showing like a ghost view of what the first floor plan is below existing. So, next page. These drawings are basically the roof framing plan on the right, and on the left is a roof slope plan showing the slope everywhere is a 3 and 12 slope, and then some of the framing on the right hand side is somewhat modified from existing. Okay, we'll make this a little bigger temporarily, apparently. Didn't go away. There we go. This is just the existing front elevation of the house. And then with the new addition way in the back, behind the neighbor's fencing and bushes and everything, and with a 1.5 foot gap, you might be able to see some of the actual addition from the street. Okay, so now we see this small. This is now the southern side, or the right side of the house, existing. And then the proposed is this, where you see the stoop has been added to the end of the one leg, and then the bedroom wing is now angling back into the backyard. You can see there's some modifications to the roof at this point because of the now longer distance to the edge of the house. Also to note here is that the foundations, since the last time, since the design review meeting, they have actually pushed back the panels between what they represent as piers and the foundation. So they've now added that, because that's what the existing house has, the historic portion of the house. They also have added an access door here, and it looks like proposed pressure-treated wood access doors underneath the stoop, instead of previously it was just lattice. So this is now the existing rear elevation. And in addition to the changes that are happening on the first floor, of note is this second floor window. This window ends up changing in shape. So that one is to be removed and saved, and I believe used elsewhere. As well as the other window on the first floor. Remember when we looked at the photographs and there was that window. That window will be filled in, and so they will remove that window and save it, and I believe they reuse it also. The other one is on the back here in the existing addition. This window also will be removed and saved. I guess also the existing French door as well. So I believe they reuse all of those. So now here's the new proposed addition, and you can see, starting from the top, there's that window that's now a slightly smaller size. Then the addition itself with the stoop on the left, and then the various windows on this side. You can see 3 on this side, there's none on the back. There are the 3 mechanical units shown there. And the various changes in roof lines. And this vertical line represents the current edge of the existing addition, which will no longer be there. Okay, the existing north or left elevation with the 1'3" setback on this side here, but that's the existing condition. And then with the new addition. Now on this side we have 4 windows, and you can see that same pattern on the foundation continues on this side. There's another access door. So also requested at the design review meeting was some ideas to the landscaping for this project, especially considering the very high foundation. So here's the landscape plan, and they indicate some these 5 various different kinds of plants, and they're all numbered here around the perimeter. And they're on the southern, the southeastern, and the northeastern sides of the house. None are shown along the northwestern side. And then we have here our zoning and inspections review. Make this bigger so we can actually read it. For 510 Craven Street. And we can see at the bottom that the zoning administrator has said that the project meets the requirements of the land use ordinance, and the chief building inspector has indicated that the project will require a building permit, with comment building and floodplain development permits are required. until you're ready for our findings and evaluation.
Okay, very good. Mr. Tom, do you have anything to add that Matt may have overlooked?
I don't think so, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone in our audience who would like to speak for or against the application? Seeing none, no need for rebuttal. So, Matt, if you could give us staff's recommendation.
Okay. Should have just stayed there.
Yeah, sorry.
No, not you. All right. All right, so these are our findings and evaluation for the project of 510 Craven Street for Thomas and Glenda Decker. The historic property name is the Meadow Whitford Rental House, built in 1914. It is a contributing structure in the historic district. And the National Register inventory description from 2003 described the house as 2 stories with an L-plan, 3 bays wide, pedimented right front bay, and a hip roof. For Sandbeck, the description in 1988, the most relevant information is this 2-story frame house exhibits simple colonial revival detailing. So the project, is not for 514 East Front Street, but for 510 Craven Street, is to include a 1-story addition and relocated fence gate in the secondary and tertiary AVCs. And staff submits the following historic district guide standards, aka guidelines that may be appropriate to this application. For utilities, 2.3.1, 2, and 6. For landscaping, 2.4.1 and 3. For parking, 2.7.1 and 4. For design principles, 3.1.1, 2, and 4. For modifications, 3.2.1 and 2. For additions, 3.3.1, 2, and 3. For foundations, 4.1.1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To note is the BFE, the base flood elevation is 10 feet, NABD 88, and plus 2 feet for freeboard equals established floor height of 12 feet, NABD 88. Then 4.1.6. For walls, trim, and ornamentation, 4.2.1 and 4. For windows, doors, and openings, 4.3.1, 2, 3, and 6. For entrances, 4.4.1, 4, and 5. For roofs, 4.5.1. For accessibility and life safety, 4.7.2. For masonry, 5.1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And for wood, 5.2.1, 2, 1, and 2. For paint, 5.4.2, 3, and 4. And for contemporary materials, 5.5.6. So statements of fact based on the information contained in the application are: 1, the structure is a contributing structure in the tight weave development pattern. 2, the project is an addition to a contributing structure in the secondary and tertiary AVCs. 3, the proposed design components and materials meet the requirements of the historic district design standards, aka guidelines. 4, the zoning administrator and the chief building official have reviewed this project and commented accordingly. And 5, the application is not incongruous with the guidelines.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Okay. Commissioners, as you formulate questions or what type of information we might want to discuss, I've made a list of things that have changed since design review, Mr. Tom. You let me know if I miss anything. But we've got an illustration showing the relocation of the fence at the drive, landscaping plan. We've got mechanical units that I presume shows the correct base or design flood elevation height that was referenced in the recommendations. There's a place for a wheelchair lift that may or may not be new, but it was new to me tonight. And then lastly, I think the foundation articulation has changed to show the inset masonry between column piers, the intent there. that pretty much everything, Mr. Tom, that's changed? Did I?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm doing a pretty good job. So with that, just to make sure everybody's on the same page, and what kind of questions do we have? And if we don't have anything specific, we may want to start with our site questions, and we can work through our matrix if that's helpful.
It's a question really for the administrator, is that you have contemporary materials, but I don't see any contemporary materials. Are there?
Well, let's see, that's probably correct. I was including that, thinking of asphalt shingles, but
No, so
it's not asphalt
it's metal
shingles.
roof, so, okay.
Oh, yes, that was it, yep.
Okay, good catch.
And then, this is really minor, not intended to slow anything down, but there's really nothing referencing your lighting. And so you're probably gonna have a light by the back door. or
There's
something.
a light by the back door, and there'll be a floodlight from the back, just as.
Yeah, it's just a matter
Mr.
of
Chair,
getting it to Matt.
Mr.
before
Chair,
we-
can we have the gentleman come up to the microphone so we
Yeah.
can capture his responses?
Sorry.
Thank you, Counselor.
So it's not intended to slow it down, but just to have it in the book that. those are
Right,
the
there
lights.
will be, as the existing lights fixtures, as they're on there now, we'll move them around to the side of the house
Okay.
where the walk stairwell goes up, and there's a floodlight to be on that back corner, just as there is
Okay.
existing now. That's the only light.
So you're
fixtures
just
in the back.
reusing the existing.
We're using the
fixtures.
existing
Okay.
fixtures, as we use the existing windows wherever we
Yeah.
possibly can.
Appreciate that, yeah. And I don't think that needs any approval, does it? No. But yeah, looking through the list, I mean, it's the foundation, walls, trim, ornamentation, windows, entrances, roofs, everything matches exactly with the guidelines. Appreciate the work you and your architect did.
That's what we're trying to do.
All right. And Commissioner Morrison helped me right along going through the matrix just in. Any other questions or comments, or could we even hazard a motion at this point, maybe?
Either before or after your motion and discussion, I would like to point out that the floodplain permit may or may not affect the design of the building. So we don't think so, but we're not sure, and they weren't able to do the determination in time for the meeting tonight, and they will do that then during that process. So there's potential that they may be either forced to either elevate or lower their floor, or somehow in some other way change their design. So you may want to add that as a condition to the COA.
Perhaps another way to look at that is if we have a change, it would be coming back to us.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep, that would
And so I think for
make
tonight, we can assume that
as an amendment then.
we should interpret the drawings with the design flood elevation shown, and should there be a change, Mr. Tom, you come back in and check with Matt.
Correct.
And he'll guide you as to where we need to go from there.
Okay.
All right. So any other commissioner comments, or? Well, let's have a motion.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move we find the application for a certificate of appropriateness for 510 Craven Street to be not incongruous with New Bern's Code of Ordinance, section 15411 to 15429, and New Bern's Historic District guidelines, based on the following specific guidelines and findings of fact. Utilities 2.3.1, 2, and 6. Landscaping 2.4.1 and 3. Parking 2.7.1 and 4. Design principles 3.1.1, 2, and 4. Modifications 3.2.1 and 2. Additions 3.3.1, 2, and 3. Foundations 4.4.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Walls, trim, and ornamentation 4.2.1 and 4. Windows, doors, and openings 4.3.1, 2, 3, and 6. Entrances 4.4.1, 4, and 5. Roofs 4.5.1. Accessibility and life safety 4.7.2. Masonry 5.1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Wood 5.2.1 and 2. Paint 5.4.2, 3, and 4. And statements, findings of fact, the structure is a contributing resource in the tight weave development pattern. Project is an addition to a contributing structure in the secondary and tertiary AVCs. The proposed design components and materials meet the requirements of the historic district design standards, also known as guidelines. The zoning administrator and the chief building inspector chief building official have reviewed this project and commented accordingly, and the application is not incongruous with the guidelines.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Can we have a motion to issue a COA?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Thank you, ladies.
Congratulations. Good
Ladies and
design
gentlemen,
review.
Very much.
Thanks for all your work.
We're trying.
It's good.
All right. And so I believe that concludes our public hearings for tonight. Let's see. Don't have any specific old business items. Matt, is there anything under old business that you need to cover that I'm unaware?
Let's see, sorry. No.
Okay. Are there any general public comments? All right, we're doing well tonight. No suggestions or insights. I don't see any new business, and so I'm going to move to the administrator's report. Matt, is there anything in particular we need to cover on major COAs issued and minor COAs issued recently?
No, but the next one, the extensions that were issued, we issued an extension on the demolition decision. And as you know, we don't issue COAs on demolition until we have both the demolition approved and the redevelopment approved for 715 East Front Street. That is the small, now half demolished building or half destroyed building along East Front Street near Queen Street. And that approval was almost a year ago now, and for the demolition, but they have not yet put together a redevelopment plan. But they did contact me, and so they are moving forward with the redevelopment plan. So I granted them an extension on that decision as opposed to a COA. Just a technicality that I wanted to clarify.
And you may have said, but I didn't hear how long that extension was.
For 1 year.
1 year.
Sorry. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Thank you for that. Lastly, commissioner comments. Do we have any this evening? All right. Motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
All right. We stand adjourned.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.